Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Manny wants who's next? Who next? And if Samuel Peters was the one saying it, I want who next? So Manny want who next? Or does he not? So that's the question. For those of you who don't know, we know Manny Pacquiao in boxing. He didn't throw a towel in. In any fight, he wasn't throwing a towel in. He was going to, slug it out to the end. Proved to be his style in politics. He slugged it out until the end. The presidential race for the 2022 Philippine election. Unfortunately for Pacquiao, I know a lot of people were rooting for him, even me too. He just couldn't get over that hill, man. Pacquiao placed a distant third in the presidential race, forcing him to concede defeat and pull out late Tuesday evening. And, that's what happens when you don't have any chance to win. It comes a point to where you have to stop burning all your money and just be realistic with your situation. And Manny knew that it was time to pull out. He only had about close to 7% of the votes. And that's just not going to get you there. And the thing with him, he's competing with Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, that's the son of the former president and the dictator, Ferdinand Sr. But Pacquiao went on to do a 2-minute concession speech addressing his people, still asking for a chance for peace and development of the country. And he said that his goal was to run the country to with his utmost desire to uplift poor Filipinos. Now, I'm not going to get into all of Manny Pacquiao's story, but I'm not wanting to assume it, but I think it's safe to assume anybody who's watching this video understands Manny Pacquiao's story and how rough that man had it growing up as a kid. It's that Japanese coffee. Growing up as a kid and the things he saw and just the things that he went without. So I think Pacquiao would have had great intentions being the president of the Philippines, especially when it comes to the underprivileged, because he knows firsthand what it's like to not have food. That man knows what it's like to not have shoes. And I can understand that situation myself, man. I've seen it. And so that hits home for me too. That's why I was rooting for him. But like he said, from his years as a boxer, he's learned how to accept defeat. And he's had a couple defeats, man. But he hopes that even though he lost the fight, that, Filipinos, poor people, there's people around the world, will still continue to win. And, he's very religious. So he talks about not to lose hope in the Lord, because the Lord will never forsake them. Now, as of right now, this is my thing, right? They're saying there's no real future plans for Manny Pacquiao. No one knows what he's going to do. But I'm going to tell you the reason Pacquiao lost that election. I did a video about this and I talked really quickly about it. I was fishing like 6 weeks ago. Not even 6 weeks ago. And I was with my sons, and there was one guy was out there fishing. He was out there fishing too. He was catching fish he should have thrown back, but it is what it is. And then an older Filipino guy came out there. And we started talking and joking and messing around. And of course, you know what subject I got on. I got on boxing. So I was joking with the Filipino guy, like, let me guess your favorite fighter, Floyd Mayweather. And, he was like, hell no. And we started laughing. So we started talking about Pacquiao. And he was saying that he goes back home to the Philippines once every 6 months. How he has a boat. We're out there fishing, so he's talking about his boat, it's a fiberglass boat. They go fishing and stuff like that. So I said, so what's up with Pacquiao? I was like, is he going to become the president? He asked me what I thought. I said, yeah, everybody loves him in the Philippines. And he was like, yes, they do, as a boxer, not as a politician. And he started laughing. And he told me, he was like, Manny Pacquiao, as far as the popular vote, is extremely low. Now, I was taken aback by that because I would have thought the way the country, stays up to watch his fights. When he loses, the country cries. I would have thought they would have been rooting him on to go on and become the president of the Philippines. But no, the Filipino people, they love him as an athlete, they love him as a person, but they want change in their country. Manny Pacquiao is not the man to create change as the president. He can fill in another capacity, and still, whatever his intentions were as a president, he still has that outlet to communicate that and hopefully affect change in those areas where he would like to influence and make a difference. But the problem with Pacquiao, I'm going to tell you, what do you think the problem is? Why do you think he didn't make that election? I give you 5 seconds while I sip this Japanese coffee. 5 seconds, right? Because you watch boxing. 5 seconds of why you think Pacquiao didn't get elected as a president. All right, boom, 5 seconds. Because the man doesn't know politics. When Manny Pacquiao was serving over there as a congressman, right? What was he doing all the time? How much time did he spend committed to that position as a senator? How much time did he spend getting ready for boxing matches? His peers, right? The first fight, they supported him. When he's out of pocket, somebody has to pick up his work, right? Somebody has to fill that gap. So maybe the first time, everyone's fascinated. Oh, Pacquiao. Second time, oh, he's going for another fight. Hey, well, he's a senator now, but that's Pacquiao. Third time, they're like, all right, this is bullshit. I got to pick up his work. This man is out here filling his seat. But at the same time, we're letting him go and fight. And people started paying attention to that. And there was a debate and where they were asking certain questions, political questions. Pacquiao couldn't intelligently articulate his responses because he's going up against like a Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Politicians, man, gone to university and studied all this political science and stuff like that, who come up through internships. His dad was a damn politician, but even the other guys out there he's going against, Pacquiao can't talk like a politician because he's not a damn politician. Now, and it showed during the debates. In addition to that, Manny Pacquiao speaks English, but he doesn't speak English. Do you understand what I'm telling you? These other candidates have been, schooled in American universities or universities from somewhere else. They are very, very, they could teach you English, to be quite honest. So when they're up there talking and proper grammar, stuff like that, and they go from English to Tagalog, but they speak it in a lot of English, Pacquiao struggled, you see? And all of those things kind of hindered him. So the people felt like, we love Pacquiao, but he's not the guy to come in here to be our president because he doesn't know politics. How is Pacquiao going to sit down with a leader from another country and talk about things that have been going on the last 20 years? I mean, specific issues, and to be able to peel the layers back and intelligently communicate on those issues. You got to be able to be on it. Pacquiao, he probably get halfway through. He probably get the first 10 seconds in after he introduces himself and then be like, well, when it comes to, I don't know, poverty in the country, it's kind of like when I was boxing. I can see him in there just keep taking the shit back to boxing. But the people in the Philippines, they love him, but they're not stupid people. And they need someone who's going to lead their country, improve the overall government, try to make lives better for people, and help to rid corruption. And I think Pacquiao, 25% of the position and what's expected, I think Pacquiao passed with flying colors. But there's that explicit stuff. There's that stuff where, you have to have been in textbooks. You have to have been following politics. You have to have been immersed in that, living that lifestyle. It can't just be tacit stuff where you learn through experience. There really is nothing in the book. That's where that 25% of stuff, Pacquiao has the advantage, knowing what it's like to be poor, knowing what it's like to be without, knowing what it's like to come into money, knowing what it's like to no matter what I have, I'll always had a poor man's mentality. So when he's in there banging with some of these people, they can't understand that. How Pacquiao go out there and be in the village, out there in the river in a canoe, pulling in fishing nets and stuff like that. People are looking at him like, is he crazy going out there into these slums? That's where Pacquiao's the most comfortable because that's where he comes from. You know? So he has that advantage. And that's why you saw, about 7% of the population wanted him there. But, still those same people who come from those, really, really bad, rough backgrounds, at the same time, they want someone there who can really kind of bridge that gap through international relations and make the situation better for the country. So in my opinion, Pacquiao he took a shot. You miss 100% of shots you don't take. So he tried, right? And it just didn't work out. So now those plans are on the table. We're not sure what his next move is going to be following the conclusion of the senatorial term at the end of June. But Pacquiao right now says he just needs a lot of time with his wife and his family and first order his business and just keep trying to serve his fellow countrymen. But he says he's going to sit back and think about what his next move is going to be, right? Now, this is the thing. He's retired. He's retired, right? But now, his main reason for getting out of boxing was to go out there and pursue, his dream of becoming president of the Philippines. Well, that dream is over, at least as of right now. And I can see old Pacquiao wanting to come back and show these young boys what time it is. Now, the thing is, some people say Pacquiao can still do it. In his fight against Ugas, Pacquiao said he had a lot of cramping in his legs from the first round, and the cramping in his leg affected his performance. Pacquiao doesn't make excuses. Maybe that's what happened in the fight. What do you think? I think Pacquiao should come back and clip Spence and Crawford. Come back. Give him the business, Pacquiao. Look, people, the man had cramps in his legs. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Ugas. I'm not holding that fight against Pacquiao. If he didn't have those cramps in his legs, Pacquiao would have beat Ugas. Right? That's what Pacquiao's saying, man. Nah, but I don't know. But I'll tell you, crazier things have happened. And when you got Samuel Peters shouting, Manny want who next? You never know what he's going to do. Because, that as of right now, that's over. He's got to wait a while if he wants to take a shot at that again. But that's grueling months of just mentally exhausting going through that process, man. And you just never know what's going to happen, man. But if he gets that little bug in him, hey, he's back in position where he's like, all right, let me go out here and see what's going on. Especially if, Spence and Bud, if they figure out they want to fight each other and Manny decides to come back for a shot at the undisputed distinction, I could see one of them saying, I'll give it to him. And, you got to go with Spence, you got to go with Bud Crawford, man, because even if Manny tries to come back, he had cramps in his legs, and Ugas did that to him. What would Earl Spence do to him? You know what I'm saying? And I was joking about Manny beating Spence and Crawford. Cramps and stuff, he's been having cramps in his legs for years, and it's slowing him down. And he's not the same. He kind of just throwing the left hand recklessly, and he's off balance a whole lot. His athleticism is going. He's just not the same. But, I just don't know his situation financially, but I would hope that he stays retired, do some exhibitions. People are paying to see Floyd. People would pay to see Pacquiao, especially if he hits that Asian circuit. And I'm not saying that because he's Asian. I'm saying that because, for the most part, Manny Pacquiao's support came from all over the world. But in particular in Asia, they love that man. You know what I'm saying? But all over the world. But he can go out there, man, and pick up exhibitions on that Asian circuit. And Pacquiao can do just fine. That's if he wants to do it. In addition, he could bring his son along and let his son get on some of those cards, and let his son get some experience on an international level, build and work on his international relations. And, that's another way for his son to stack up some dough and get some credibility in the boxing community. And even if his son doesn't want to come back over here and get in there with real fighters, at least Pops help his son go out there and stack up a few million. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I know his wife she can't handle that. She can't handle Pacquiao back in the ring doing anything. And Pacquiao's mom, we don't need her out there casting spells anymore, if Pacquiao gets getting touched up. So congrats to Pacquiao, man. He took a shot at it, and now he knows where he stands. And, a lot of people are afraid to go out there and do that, man, and that prevents a lot of people from being extremely successful in life. And, I'm guilty of that. There's one thing in particular that I really want to try to do. But, sometimes I worry about failure, and I wasn't like that when it comes to sports. I wasn't like that when it comes to public speaking. But there's something I want to do that's along the lines of public speaking. And it's just finding like if I had somebody, if we're in this environment and somebody kind of threw me out there like, yo, have him come up there and do it, then I would do it because I wouldn't have no choice. And I think I'd do all right, but it's just, taking that first step. And what Pacquiao did in front of the whole world, that's huge, man. So I wish him the best of luck. But don't come back messing with no damn Spence and Crawford. Leave Conor Ben alone. Leave everybody alone. Just sit back and relax. Enjoy your life, man. But still be interesting, though. I'd watch him if he came back. But anyway, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Pacquiao's still out there serving his people. He's a good ambassador to the country. Great human being. I have nothing negative to say about that man. And I wish him the best of luck. Y'all keep cool. Appreciate the support. Like and subscribe. Means a lot to me. And as always, I'm in the breeze.